Hey everybody, it's Kevin at Bear Creek. Was on Facebook last night, and somebody had forwarded a post from a homeowner that had found a swarm in their backyard. This swarm is different than a lot of swarms where it actually landed on the ground and it's in their back lawn. And the homeowner was looking for a beekeeper to come and get it. So I immediately, went to her original post, and I said I'd be interested in coming and get it, and so we got together and got her address, and I gave her the options of how I was going to pick it up, and gave her my number, told her to call me in the morning or text me in the morning if the bees are still there. And sure enough, she texted me about 7:30 this morning, and sure enough, the bees are still there. In fact, she said that the swarm looks like it's expanded or grown on the ground. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm on my way to her house right now. This is a perfect opportunity for my bee vac. This is my first time I'll be able to use it. Swarms on the ground are a little bit more difficult, obviously, so this might be a perfect way to pick up these bees. Hopefully the queen is there and everything. It's August 2nd, 2019, and these type of swarms are what I call post-honey flow swarms. And essentially what it is the hives grow very, very big when they're collecting just tons of honey. And so you have this massive hive collecting a ton of honey, and then we hit a bit of a lull, a slow period. And there are a lot of mouths to feed in that colony. And so there's a lot of bees just kind of sitting around the front of the hive, and honestly all they're doing is consuming resources. So in the bees' mind, they decide to sacrifice a portion of their hive so that the other portion of the hive, the original, can survive the winter. Because with nothing coming in, this colony of a large size can actually consume all of their stores before winter even comes, and then they're doomed. So it's more of a sacrificial type of swarm. Yes, it's the original queen goes with this swarm, and they create swarm cells. The original hive does, but they have very, very little chance of surviving because we're already into August, and they have to find a home, build the comb, tons of comb, and forage. And obviously all the bees that are swarming are going to die by the time winter rolls around, so they have to create a nest with enough bees to survive the winter. And it's very, very, very doubtful that a post honey flow swarm in August can make it through winter. So I'm going to pick them up, give them a home, and hopefully, and if I can feed them, and get them prepared for winter, well, then they can make it through winter. So that's what we're doing first thing this morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and like I said, I'm on my way there, about 17 miles away from me, about 20-minute drive, and I guess we'll see when we get there. Well, okay, we got a pretty good sized swarm here, right on the ground. Haven't been able to locate the queen, but that's okay. So let's see about picking them up here.
Oh, was it on the door last night?
Yeah, we got a monarch right next to your face here too, on the flower.
Okay. So essentially what this is there's a box full of frames right here.
Yeah.
This is the bottom, and then this is sort of the top. The bottom is sealed, so I can create a vacuum in there, and I'll put the hose from the vacuum right into here, and they won't get sucked up because there's a screen on top here. And
So then you take
and
them home and put them
I'll
into like
put a hose in here, and then I'll open this up, and it'll actually create a suction. And so they'll go in. It's actually a slanted bottom.
Sure.
They kind of skid in a little bit, but they don't like get sucked in like sand.
Yeah.
And then I have a little sort of a air control baffle here so that it's not so powerful, you know, that I don't want to hurt them, you know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you've done it once or twice.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, most swarms that I catch are in trees,
Yeah.
and then they just drop down right into the box, and I put a lid on it and just set it there for the day. And so I don't see many of this where I get a chance to use my bee vac. So I just built it. So.
Oh, there you go.
So then you'll take them home and put them like in a hive or something?
That is a hive right there.
Oh, that is
It's already the hive right there. That's all. That box right there, the white box, is the hive. The bottom and the top are designed for the bee vacuum itself. But when I take them back home, I'll actually just lift the box up, set it on a stand, set it on a bottom, give it a top. That'll be their home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh. So what they do here is they sit there, they'll protect the queen while scouts go out and look for a place they can call home. But this time of the year, they don't have a very good chance of surviving because there's just not enough time for them to build enough comb and create enough of a nest to survive. Because all these bees will be dead by winter, so they have to have a very big nest by the time winter hits. You know, so that they have enough bees to keep each other warm. You know.
Okay.
But I mean, could you put like switch combs from a different hive and put it in there for food? Or
I already got
some in there.
I got comb already built.
Okay.
That's in there, empty comb, and then I'll put sugar water on top. I'll feed them, so that they don't have to use the resources to go out and try to find flowers and to try to build up. You know. Look at that! They can already smell it. See that?
Yeah, they're starting to
These are scouts trying to go in there, which is good.
right.
Oh, you got it plugged in already?
Yep.
Okay.
got most of them.
So now what happens? I mean, you have so many flying around.
Well, that's kind of inevitable. The scouts are going to come back, but they'll disperse after a little bit. You know, there's just nothing for them. You know, they'll have to beg into a hive or something like that. But you can see them in there if you want. I could just sit here for a little bit. Maybe some will congregate again.
Did you see the queen when you were doing it?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you. They have a better chance of survival with me than anywhere else. You know?
Yeah. I just feel so bad for the ones that didn't make the box.
Yeah. Well, that's nature, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Okay. Okay, that was a successful swarm capture. I sure hope I got the queen anyways. And Brad, if you are counting, that's 6 for me and 1 for you. I know I'm counting. Game on. Happy beekeeping. Here, I'll show you what this looks like here real quick. That's the swarm I caught. Plenty of bees in there. Hopefully the queen is in there. That's all I can say. And we really won't know that for a week or so. And then I'll go in and check for eggs. But let me see about hopefully all the bees are up and this isn't too much of a nightmare for me. Okay. So now what I want to do is just tap these out right in front of the hive here. The next step in this process is going to be putting a feeder on for this swarm hive because they're going to need feed right away. And I am completely out of sugar. Okay, so I got a little bit of an odd reaction here. The bees are kind of bearding on the outside as I left for a while to go get some sugar water, or sugar actually, so I can make some sugar water up. And I've brought some over here, and I got a pollen patty too, and I'm going to give them that. But I wasn't expecting them to be bearding out in the front here like this. They're going in and out of the hive too. Maybe there's just too many bees, and I got to put a second story on it. So I'm going to take a look here and see what I can see. There are a lot of bees in this hive for sure. Okay. So I got a little bit of a pollen patty here. I actually went and nuked it, and I made it a bit of a mess, which is unfortunate. Okay. Got my hive top feeder here. Okay. Let's see if I can encourage them by giving them some sugar water here. Okay. I'm actually going to go and get a foil top for this. See if I can encourage them to go in there and start feeding instead of bearding out here. So, looks as if they have pretty much accepted this as their new home. I put that second story in. I really did underestimate how big this swarm was. And that's why they had bearded so heavily on the outside of that hive. I actually was looking at the video when I picked it off of the BVAC bottom, and I could see, I did not know that he was even there, but I could see all the bees hanging from the bottom of the combs. And that's why they bearded. There was just so many, too many for one box, so I had to add that second story to it. So that's good. Added that to it, and as you can see, pretty much they have stopped bearding, and right now they're pretty much flying around, orienting to their new location, and they are heavily into the syrup up top, and I can see that they are actually flying around searching for nectar sources. So this is home now. Very, very good to see. Till next time, happy beekeeping.